welcome to the Highgate Selectboard meeting Thursday, March 7th, 2019. Our first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for coming. Do we have any public comment that does not pertain to something on the agenda? Chris?
I have a couple. First, I'd like to thank all the voters for passing our bond. We really appreciate that. And then second, I'm here just to remind everybody about our reorganization meeting, March 21st, 7 o'clock at MVU. It's tentatively still on for then, unless the Senate changes something, but
Alright.
I have a question for him. When do you expect projects to begin?
at this point, I have no idea, because we haven't even had our first meeting since town meeting day, so we have to reorg and we have to get started, but we'd like to definitely tackle some of them in the summer. I mean, it's hard to do projects when the kids are there, so
Yeah,
nothing would start until the school's out. But it'll be probably the easier ones.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think the parking lot will get done this year.
I see they pushed Act 46 to keep going too, that judge did.
Right.
Any other public
Yeah,
comments?
I will bring that up what Josh and Randy both said about the select board having the helmets at the arena. I do agree with that. We've had some accidents over to the arena. When they are pushing, I think it would be a very good idea to bring that up and have the select board discuss it. I was there the day that Brody fell, and it needs to be addressed. They need to have a helmet on, so no tragedy will happen again. You know, it's too late for this year, but it should be effective for next year.
Okay. Yeah, we've been fortunate that the accidents
Right,
haven't been
it could
more
have been more,
serious than
and
they have.
it needs to be addressed for effective for the following year.
Well, somebody gets hurt on it, so it's the town reliability, ain't it?
If it's an employee of the town, yes. If it's during a private function, I think it's on them. So
Well,
like
say they got the skating open for the public, and when somebody gets hurt, then without helmet stuff, would it
I'd
be
have
up
to
to the,
defer to our
would it be the
insurance
town
lady.
insurance covering that, or?
Our insurance does cover programs, but I would think they would look at the situation and decide who was at fault.
But sometimes you just fall automatically.
Right, I mean, you can't go to an ice rink and then blame somebody else for
Public
falling on
skating,
ice.
you're gonna lose a lot of people because people
Oh,
get
you
hurt.
can't. Oh, you can't.
Right.
Or then you gotta provide helmets, but we could say all employees.
I think it's skate at your own risk, unless the town is doing something
It's like
legit,
It's probably like
If
it's like
it-
skiing. You assume the risk.
you
know?
assume the
Yeah.
risk.
They should have a sign that skate on your own,
But
so.
still, it should be required.
But we could say employees
Yeah.
to cover our.
We had a
assets.
policy in place that would protect us.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
But still.
Definitely look into it.
Any other comments? Okay, moving on. So reorganization of the select board. So I'll take nominations for select board chair.
I nominate Sharon Boscat.
I'll second it.
Any other nominations?
I'll nominate, well, do we handle one nomination at a time?
Yeah. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay.
Congratulations.
I'll take nominations for vice chair.
I'll nominate Josh the Rock.
I would second that. Any other nominations? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. We welcome Richard, newly elected on Tuesday,
Congratulations.
or our
Welcome.
sympathies, whichever it is.
What about road commissioner?
Yes, we have road commissioner to do as
Okay.
well. So I'll take nomination for road commissioner.
I'll nominate Josh the Rock.
I'll second that.
Any other nominations? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? You have our sympathies for that too?
Every year it's getting better.
Okay, so we now have a reorganized select board. So
Calls
we'll
for a
move-
candy.
There you go. We'll move right along to Shelley.
Okay. Okay. There's the check warrant.
Does everyone have a chance to look at the check warrant? Okay. Any questions or concerns? Okay.
Oh, I just realized, I didn't switch the names. So sign in Steve LaFar's line and I will cross out and retype yours. Please. I'll fix that tomorrow. Other than that, I don't have much else to say. I think I said everything Tuesday. Taxes are, tax monies, about 2,000 more have come in since Tuesday, so
Oh, awesome.
we're really coming, yeah, it's coming along. I'm very pleased with everyone.
Beautiful.
Yep. The Western Star bills have come in this week, and I forwarded all those to VLCT as well, so.
Yep.
I think the only thing left is some cosmetic
Yes.
bills
So-
that we're waiting for, so
so,
I'll make
yeah.
sure they don't close that claim.
Order up a new exhaust too, right?
Yeah.
That, and
And,
fix the door.
Yeah, I left roughly $1,000 to fix the door and the cab. And that can
What's
be-
exhaust button cost for that? I mean, it's kinked over, it doesn't.
Yeah, and it was kinked over some because of the way the body is. It's not perfectly straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an odd setup because I thought the same thing. But I do have one for that, and then, like I said, leaves you about roughly $1,000 to do the cab repair, Charbonneau's or whoever could do it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let them know.
Yeah, just so that.
Sweet. And Luke's okay?
And Luke is
That's
okay.
the best part right there.
Is he back? Yeah. Or?
Oh, yeah.
He didn't need any time.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
walked
no,
away.
he
Walked away.
He got back in the ton truck and kept going.
He got picked up, came back here, grabbed a shovel, went back and just started shoveling that load out of the back of that truck so it's easier for it back over.
How did that roll anyway? Like, just
On its
sideways,
side.
kind of, okay.
Well,
What's that little turns I need? That ditch is deep in the summer.
yeah, and he did everything right, just wasn't it?
What you can do?
So,
Okay, I did put an updated budget in Dropbox, so it was late today when I got it done, but it is there for you to view if you need to. I still think everyone's doing really well with their budget, so I wasn't too concerned. And I'll let you move on to Wendy.
okay.
Yep, you have 2 sets of minutes, the 21st, and then you had a special meeting on the 28th.
So, has everyone had a chance to look at Thursday, February 21st, draft minutes? Any issues?
That was our town meeting info.
Yep.
Looks good. I'll make a motion to approve that.
Okay, do I have a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And then we have our special meeting minutes from February 28th. Do I have a motion to accept those minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay.
Okay, so this is Sharon to sign. I will quickly recap Tuesday, town meeting day. We had 280 people vote at the polls, which was low. Last year we had closer to 400. I think part of that was we weren't voting on a school budget. I think part of it is there was nothing too animated going on from the floor, which was wonderful. We had no races on the ballot, so there was nothing exciting going on there, but we did have the school bond vote, which Chris touched on already, and that passed 158 to 120, so a good margin, 38 votes. Everything passed from the floor. I believe it was the highway fund, we actually bumped up a little, 22,000. And then the one article got postponed to talk about again next year about changing the start time of town meeting, so. It was my 9th town meeting and by far the smoothest I've had. So that's good.
We'll be there next year.
Thank y'all.
I'll be there next year.
Yeah, because Ralph wasn't there.
So it's gonna be a little rougher next week? Was it the earliest too, to get done?
I think it was the earliest. I mean, we still had to stay till 7 when the polls
yeah.
closed, but,
But for the meat part.
right, so that
I
is
didn't know that.
town meeting day in a very quick recap.
already discussed.
We do have several positions up for appointment. Sharon, I think you have the list?
I do.
Okay.
So, appointed positions as of March 7th, 2019. So for tree warden, Butch Brusso. Animal control officer, Lonnie Lamont. Richard Noel for the Northwest Regional Planning. For Transportation Advisory Committee, Richard Noel. Delinquent tax collector, our own Shelley. Deputy health officer, Richard Souza. Those are all 1-year terms. For 3-year terms, we have Development Review Board for Woody Rouse Jr. and Michael Kravitz. Both are 3-year terms. On the Planning Commission, we have Luke Dupree and we have Bruce Ryan, both 3-year terms. On the Rec Commission, Brian Fortin for a 2-year term. Mark Gilbert on the Rec Commission for a 2-year term. And we just hired Samantha DeRocher for a 3-year term. Waiting until April, it says.
That was per Ty's request, because he hadn't talked to them.
Okay. To verify that they were still.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then of course, we just elected Josh as our road commissioner.
We have an opening on the rec commission, correct?
We
That's-
do, and this gentleman, Matthew Schwanier, had expressed some interest.
Because we have a guy that's interested and we would like to.
So these are usually done by motion, right?
We have to do a motion per.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, we do have someone that is interested in the rec commission.
Okay.
And that's where Brian Spear
He's
said
willing to
if
step
someone else
away.
was interested,
He's willing
he
to step
will-
away.
come off.
Okay.
So then the board would.
How many
people.
members are supposed to be on the board total?
7.
7 and we have 7.
No,
You will have 7 if you nominate whoever it is you're nominating. And
not everybody
Matt.
was up for appointment this year. Some had
Right.
1-year terms to start, some had 2 to get them staggered.
Yep.
Okay,
So-
so we'll go one by one. Butch Brusso,
I'll nominate Butch and
I'll second.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Animal control, Lonnie Lamont.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Northwest Regional Planning,
I'll make that motion.
second.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Transportation Advisory Committee Representative,
Richard Noah, I'll make that motion.
okay, second.
I'll second it.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Delinquent Tax Collector, Shelley,
You make a motion for Shelley LaRush.
yes, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Deputy Health Officer, Richard Souza,
I'll make that motion.
do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Development Review Board, Michael Kravitz,
I'll make that motion.
second.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Development Review Board,
Woodbury Rouse Jr.
yes.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Luke Dupree for the Planning Commission,
I'll make that motion.
do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Bruce Ryan for Planning Commission,
I'll make that motion.
I have a second.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye. Brian Fortin, Recreation Committee, or Commission, sorry.
I'll make that motion.
All, second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Recreation Committee, Mark Gilbert,
I'll make that motion.
I have a second.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye. Samantha DeRocher,
I'll make that motion.
I'll
all
second.
those in favor say aye.
Aye. I'll make a motion for Lucas Tatro, Recreation Commission.
I'll second that. For 2 years, is that a 2-year term?
Yeah.
He down that too.
I was gonna say, you did mention
Yes.
this to him, right?
Yeah. He knows.
Okay.
Actually, it's only the 5
He's
years.
looking forward to it.
Okay,
That's good.
alright, okay. Alright,
We had,
that is our,
we had a second, but I don't think we voted.
oh, sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
You have a second, yes, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Okay,
So this, the only one we have to check on is matched 1 year.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, after that spiel, where's my agenda? Okay, just a reminder, our rabies clinic is next Saturday, March 16th, at the fire station from 10 to 12. Shelley and me and Libby and Vonnie will be there to assist you.
With bells on.
there you go. And you not only get your rabies, but you can have your license as well.
Yep, you can get your licenses that day as well, and a lot of people do. It's 2 hours of chaos, but it's good stuff.
Not barking.
Yeah.
The last thing I have is I have our last liquor license renewal of the season, the Sources Market.
Okay,
I make a motion to enter into the liquor control board.
okay, so, we'll exit regular select board and enter into liquor control, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
I make a motion to approve the license for Sources.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. Make sure to sign in the approved section. Okay,
I make a motion to exit liquor control board and enter back into a regular select board meeting.
do I have a second?
I'll second.
Alright, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay,
That's it for me.
okay, we're just zipping right along.
Awesome. For me, starting with your AOT annual letter, so this describes your funding, so you can get a vision for what you will be getting, and it's also announcing the annual grants. So, this is our time to think about where we would like to invest some more money, some more of the state's money. And in the packet is the frontage road culvert hydraulic study that we did when we were looking at the first project. So this butts right up to the area you're gonna be doing drainage on. We cut it there because we didn't have funds to look at it, but we requested the study. It's calling for a very large box culvert, 8-foot span, 5 foot high. So it's definitely not something we could accomplish without one of those structure
Right.
grants,
That's
so.
a cheap one.
And you had talked about doing, some additional paving this year too, so if you and Butch and Nick can get together and,
Come up with a plan.
yeah, come up
I
with.
definitely want to pave in front of the school and the rink down through there. That's starting to break up pretty good. Down past the tracks, a little ways, and then.
Definitely had some complaints about that area.
Yeah, that's what made me think of that.
Now, didn't we have it approved already for a mile on the Gore Road right
I
there?
think we did,
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah, I think that might be in
And
what
then-
we're doing this year, because we
Yes.
didn't get it done, so we're
Yeah,
lumping it in.
That, Mill Hill and some on Carter Hill, right?
Yeah.
Carter Hill needed some ditching and some culverts as well.
Yeah.
I just don't wanna load up the guys too much, cause
Right.
I did tell everyone we're gonna be trimming,
Yeah.
berms down this year, and I really wanna make sure we get on that.
Yeah, they have a lot of projects this year for sure, but by the time that these get through and come, it's really kind of
Yeah, no, I know.
meant for
I know.
next construction season,
Gotcha.
so.
I just
So
wanna make sure
it's
we
just
leave-
getting stuff
yeah.
in the pipeline, 'cause-
2-3 weeks anyway for trimming berms.
yeah,
They're bad.
they've got plenty of
Yeah.
work this summer, for sure.
We'll have more help too, right? Like $10,000 for parking.
But you'll have to remember too that, the comp time that Butch is accumulating will allow him to have more time off too. So we wanna be able to, you know, not short him, should he choose to take that.
Yeah.
The berms you're talking, that's the
Well, any-
shoulder, right?
Yeah, shoulder.
That needs
Well-
heavy equipment, or.
No, you could probably do it with the backhoe. It's definitely easier with a excavator, but backhoe could probably do it. Excavator and wheels would be a lot quicker and faster, but
Just thinking out loud, like,
Right.
is that something that we could contract, or, you know, if we just can't seem to, depending on how well we come up with for.
definitely
price, you know.
think about it and sit down with Butch and come up with a plan, but definitely wanna get that done, cause paving our roads and then we have a water sitting on it, which is really good.
Right.
True. So 2 things, I would request a green light to work with Jim Smith to formulate the next proposals, do some site visits.
Yep, I
Get
make
that.
that motion to approve of that.
Okay, do I have a,
Jim's a huge asset.
oh, yeah. Do I have a second for that motion?
I'll second.
All those or any discussion? All those in favor say aye. So
Yeah.
yes, if you can work with Jim and Butch and Josh.
Yep, they have the information already, they're
Yep.
percolating on it. So this is just your certificate of standards.
Mhm.
So that just needs to be signed to make us eligible.
Make a motion to sign the certificate of standards.
Okay. Do I have a second? Second. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
We are finally ready to begin our ADA construction project here.
Stop it.
So,
4 years later.
we have, it's been a long time coming for sure. And so a lot of the stuff that we had to do to get to this point cost money. They were kind enough to dig up some more money for us. So this is the amended agreement. So it went up from 75,000 to 92,734. And our match went up, but I was able to claim my hours for coordinating all those tests and drilling. So no additional funds are needed.
Perfect.
And I have to accept this electronically, so I'm asking for your permission to accept this new grant agreement.
I'll make a motion to accept that.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thanks, sir. The bollards I mentioned, I've been saying that right, I don't know how to say that. I mentioned this last time, I got
Saw
an
that.
estimate. So I gave this to the Public Works Department, they're gonna percolate on the best way to go about this, come up with some sort of scheme. And this is eligible for the equipment grant, so we could get 50% coverage. So, but it would have to be contracted out.
So this equipment grant, that's the one through passive?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. But for whatever reason, they say it is eligible, but they would not cover it if the town does the installation work themselves.
That's fine.
So I don't really know that they had time for that anyway, so. We'll try and get an estimate, and if we put out the ADA contract, they're gonna have to dig up the 2 entrances for
Perfect.
compliance, so that might be a great time to just lump that together and get that done.
Sounds good.
There's just some information FYI in there about the Macy Road stabilization project, a couple updates, and the proposed site for the water level monitoring wells in there.
Now they have decided to be the contractor for that, right? To make the arrangements? They didn't put that on the town?
No, they're coordinating that.
Yes, okay. All right.
We don't have a date yet, but they're coordinating it, yes.
Yeah.
CSI annual contract for maintenance on the HVAC system.
What is that price tag?
It did stay the same at $1,068
Once a year?
Twice.
twice, spring and fall maintenance.
It's 580
$96
every
in
6
advance,
months.
548 2 times per year.
548.
Yeah, I just wonder if it's worth bidding or not. We use VMI at the, or who do we use at the rate now? Train. So train would do this, we don't have any train equipment. What else we use over there? What would be HVA one? What's we do? Who else services or anything over there? Not sure. Anyway. I
Other
just
than
don't know if it's-
train? Yeah.
Not off the top of my head.
We're gonna need someone to service the new dehumidifier this year.
Yeah.
That's their problem, not mine.
Definitely could put it
Yeah.
on bid, but I think unless it's an annual expenditure of over 3,000, it's not required.
No, I just, at work, I just do it in practice, just to keep people honest, but if the prices are staying the same, then it's really not worth it, I guess, I don't know, we put in more time and money in rebidding it than just for $1,000, but
We've
it's
been happy
actually
with their
2,000.
service.
Hmm?
We've been happy with their service, like it seems like we get,
How much time of the year, do you know?
Like a couple hours?
At the most.
Yeah.
Inspection scheduled in May and October 2019.
They usually call and let us know when they're coming.
4 hours worth of work, $1,000. Not bad. I don't know, but I'm okay with signing it.
Okay. So do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to
So
sign it.
I have a second.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed?
What's the school you use? Just out of curiosity, the school.
I don't remember, to be honest, I was just trying to think of that myself.
Alliance, BMI,
I don't remember.
I know CTI.
I don't do the bills, I'm not on the finance committee, so I don't really see the bills for it.
I know CTI did some control work over there, they told me that. Just, we have all these buildings and different contractors at each, it may make sense to pool it.
It control tech does some of the stuff.
Yeah.
Over at school.
They just do the controls, well, I don't know who does the air handling equipment over there.
I'm not sure.
Maybe that's something to think about down the road, you know, we got all these buildings. Library, boiler, I don't know who does that, but cool, you might get a better deal, I know it'd be a better deal.
So one more thing I added in late is,
You can't do
is a consortium agreement between the town of Highgate and the town of Swanton. This is for the airport planning grant. So you approved the agreement last week. This is one of the conditions before we can proceed. So after you sign that, I'll forward it to Swanton.
Okay. Does anybody wanna look at that first?
I don't mind that, I haven't seen it yet.
Swanton won't be handling any money or contributing any money, but they're basically saying they're gonna participate in the project and facilitate the discussion and help us to get to the goal.
Yeah, and they've been excellent so far.
Any of you guys wanna look at it?
Yeah.
While you're looking at that, I'll just quickly mention that the Historical Society has some work that they need to do, and so we're attempting to prepare a historic preservation grant to help them cover 50% of the cost of doing that.
Now, how is the Historical Society? Is that a separate entity?
Yes, I believe it is, and it's a 501c3, and I don't think that they are considered under the umbrella of the town.
They're not.
Okay, do we have a motion to sign the consortium contract with the Village of Swan?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay.
So I'm gonna pitch this next one over to Randy. We've been talking about a video surveillance policy for a while. I did put a draft for consideration in there, including some edits from VLCT, and some suggestions I think Randy had. Still some questions in there, about who will be named to take some of these responsibilities and a few other things.
So I think the big questions on here, so I recommended that we have some sort of inspection schedule. We found at my agency that I work for that if you're not inspecting it, when you actually go to pull the footage, you're gonna have moisture in the camera, or it's gonna be out of focus, or something's gonna be wrong with it. So I didn't, the makeup of the town is a little different than the makeup of my agency. So we have people that are kind of assigned that task to inspect it, and we do it every 30 days, which is a little aggressive, I think, at least for our purposes here. So, and then I wasn't really sure who would be a good candidate for that task. I can't remember, I kinda threw out Bouchard, but I think questioned kind of if it'd be worth it to us.
I don't think he really knew exactly what we were looking for. I mean, we
Yeah.
kind of just mentioned like, would you monitor the cameras? And he said, well, why, basically why, but the explanation, when you dig down further, makes perfect
Yeah.
sense.
So I think when I think of inspection, it'd just be coming in, pulling up the live feed, checking to make sure
You
they're.
could do that remotely, or we're not doing that remotely, right?
Right now, I don't think we've set up for remote access here.
Alright, that's good.
No,
But, and then he comes in, I don't know.
I was thinking quarterly for inspection.
Yeah,
He's here often enough,
and then he could just fit
not
it in
that
at
often,
another
but
visit.
quarterly for
He just
sure.
logs on, checks the cameras, good, and move on.
The things that we check for, within my system is, like, make sure the picture's there, good quality. And then we're looking to retain at least, I'm guessing 30 days, hopefully, on the hard drive. So I would ask Matt to like, make sure we can actually go back 30 days and it's retaining that amount at a time. And otherwise,
Who has access to it?
right now, I think the way it's set up is,
All three of us do, but I think it would be beneficial to all three of us if it was in Matt's hands and none of ours.
Yeah, right now
It
you're
would
live
protect
viewing.
us and,
I was thinking that, or the chair.
the way the policy reads, the system administrator is kind of in charge of the monitoring and getting it to you guys in the event of an incident.
Yeah.
So, I guess to take no quarterly inspection, and then if Matt's okay with it, make him the system administrator. There was another item. Notification, did we throw that to legal? Whether we have to
We asked
post
the
signage.
LCT, Trevor Whipple, who is their legal counsel, and he said he's not aware of any requirement to notify people that they are being recorded, because there is an expectation of being recorded in any public space at this time.
Okay,
It's not like that would be unique. Everywhere you go, you're on camera, so. Exactly. So, you know, the only clarification is that there is an expectation in public areas that you're on video, and there's an expectation in private areas that you are not, such as bathrooms, changing
Right.
rooms, anything like that.
so I guess we could just remove that notification section. And I'm good with it, only because I helped craft it, so.
Yes, yeah.
I read through it today, and other than the few things I've mentioned.
Any
I
other
was
red
fine,
flags?
No,
I stripped a lot of stuff out that we do that I didn't think we'd be able to do here, so.
I mean, the only thing I noticed, I was looking for some verbiage that basically said, whoever the system administrator is, basically can't just, you know, pop popcorn and watch our our live feed for no reason.
Mhm.
I didn't see anything in there that said that, you know, it had to be upon request. Or inspection, you know, for,
Well, the beauty part is you'd have to come in and sit right next to you, log in on the computer, so you'd kind of notice it because we're not on the web. Right.
Well, I think what Shelley's suggesting is that it wouldn't be on our computers.
it would be
Well,
on
it
Matt's.
has to be on the computer here, because Matt
Well,
doesn't,
then it can be on like
Well,
one of the counter
here's-
computers with,
because the computer doesn't have remote access.
No, so like, the way we can set it up, it can be installed on every computer in the world, but like, we can set up the accounts, well, basically take their account access away.
Right.
Cause you have to log on to it, so,
But she wants to make it so like, whoever logs in has to notify that they're logging in to look at it, but if it's not
yeah,
out on, if it's only closed circuits here, then you'll know about it anyway, because they're gonna be sitting in the office on their computer or right next to you doing it, because they can't access it remotely.
he'd have to come in to access the footage.
Yeah.
so maybe it can be installed, like I said, on a counter
VPN
computer.
Is there VPN access into the office? Like, can you remote in from?
No, we don't do that
Okay.
anymore. We were paying.
So if he came in, you'd have to share popcorn.
I thought there was some wording on what institute, like why would you need access to it, or?
No, I mean, if it was
An
remote,
incident.
then I'd totally agree.
I think I'd put it in there anyways, then if you do put it remote, it's already in there, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, we can do that for sure.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I don't know where it would fit. Just under system administrator, under incident.
System administrator, under responsibilities, must be as well.
So we could talk with Matt a little more and get some more detail on that,
Table this.
and then bring it
Yeah,
back
we can
next
close.
time.
Can we have Matt come to our next meeting, we can talk
Could.
about it, and then
Yeah,
make sure he's okay with everything we're proposing?
And meet him.
And meet him? Yeah, I don't know if you guys.
you guys haven't met him? Oh my. It's funny.
Wait, is there time next meeting?
Eh,
Yeah, I thought so. There's always time.
eh,
It's 5 minutes.
Never.
he's very
Oh, Steve's not on the board anymore.
can see, if not, then
Randy will
the
ask
next
him
one.
some IT question, it'll take at least 15 minutes to explain it to the rest of
I
us.
start to geek out, yeah.
It's possible. I also found the informational sheet that VLCT provided, really informative. I did not realize half of the stuff that's in there about cyber risk for the security cameras. I was like, oh, okay. So it's definitely worth a read. All right, since we're tabling that,
What about the first meeting in April?
Yeah, because next meeting, we do have Lynette Clauden from the wastewater planning advance coming to answer any questions before you accept a grant from them.
Yeah, and Sheriff Langevin is coming.
Yes, so you will have,
With sheriff though, that's executive or no?
Well, yeah, we've got to consider time for the Sheldon Select Board, even though that's executive.
Sheldon's coming tonight. They'll be here around 8
Oh,
o'clock.
my mistake. I get these things, yeah.
It's okay.
I appreciate.
We wanted to talk to them first before we talk to the sheriff.
Exactly. It's the sheriff next time.
So just one last thing for me in open session, and that's about discussions around road maintenance issues causing damage to personal property.
Oh, actually having a policy?
Yeah, we do have a winter maintenance policy, which is very brief. Wendy tracked down Franklin's, which is quite thorough, talks to a lot of different topics. And we had very confusing conversations with Vermont League of Cities and Towns about, is it something people could be eligible for or not? And it does sound like they're not eligible, but they do say you're welcome to send them in and have them deny it.
Yeah, they basically said we can send the claim in, but 99.9999% it will be denied.
Unless it's like completely negligence of ours,
Right.
but I mean,
Just
potholes, like, they filled those things 3 times already this winter and they're back.
so,
I mean, I feel bad about it, cause no one wants anyone to have to put a bill on someone, but.
But
but they also have car insurance, and it could open quite a can of worms if, you know, people were coming to you and saying, your road caused my flat tire. It's kind of tough to really know whether your road did cause their flat tire or not, too, so.
or if your salt caused my car to rust out.
Yeah, I mean, it opens quite a can of worms.
And once you pay for one, you set a precedent,
That's exactly what happens.
and it snowballs from there.
Yeah, and then we become
My car's out of line,
convenient.
I'd like to have you take care of it.
Right.
Oddly enough, it actually slows traffic down a little, so potholes aren't all that bad.
See, there's always
In
a
front of the school, isn't
That's
it?
why
Always
they
a
won't
silver
fix the
lining.
parking lot.
Yeah, keeps it moving real slow.
Your roads are putting miles on my truck, I wanna know.
But please just take a look at theirs and see if there are things you want to add to ours, or if you feel like ours is just fine as it is. That's it for
If you put too
me.
much detail, then you can find holes.
Yeah.
Short and sweet, we're not responsible for any damages may occur.
Right.
You're responsible for your own vehicle.
And I was just gonna say that Chris already mentioned that the school meeting is on the 21st, so our next select board meeting will be on a Wednesday, the 20th.
Oh boy.
So, breaking tradition, we're gonna move to a Wednesday.
We scheduled that, right?
So-
Yes, yeah.
It's not our fault.
And I would like to say that the highway department also was very grateful to the town for passing their budget and adding a little extra. I've talked to Butch and he was so pleased that the townspeople were were behind him, and he said that's one of the reasons he took that job is because of the support he felt from this town. So he wanted me to express his gratitude for that as well.
They've done a wonderful job.
They have, they've worked
They're
very
busy.
hard.
They're busy and
always
they've done a
busy.
wonderful job this winter, and it's been a hard winter.
And at town meeting day, we had a lot of interest on the Macy property too, a lot of questions, especially during the lunchtime.
Yeah,
It's good.
busy, busy, busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Okay, anything else for select board?
No, I think we do take the helmet consideration that Sue brought up and talk to the rec commission.
I would agree with that.
I think it's a very
At
good
least for our
idea.
employees, and maybe we can mandate, I don't know how, if we can mandate, like the high school coaches, they don't wear helmets. I don't know if we can mandate that or not, that's their own thing. Public skating, I don't know
If
how.
it's our policy.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know how you could do it for public skating, cause I think you definitely lose numbers if they have to find and go get their
Right.
helmet. Or we have to start providing helmets, or there might even be someone out there to donate helmets, I
But
don't know.
you've got
Mhm.
almost 8 months or 6 months to,
Yeah,
start
come up
looking
with a
at
good
it.
plan, good policy, but I agree, everyone on that, I should have a helmet.
Yep. Especially when I saw Bernie on what happened on
Well,
Saturday.
it's not just burning,
If we could get the
I mean, it could have been anybody.
right?
Or maybe for public skating, we could offer helmets and say, have a sign that you are skating at your own risk.
Yeah, still, I just don't. Takes that split a second and then you're.
Yeah,
I have to
doing that stuff
say,
for life.
up here, especially at this rink, a lot of people do wear helmets, and when I've seen people public skating like Massachusetts or basically outside of here, hardly anyone wears one. So it's kinda crazy to see that.
All we can do is protect our own. And
It's just like riding a bicycle, you gotta wear helmets. Or you don't really have to. but you
Yeah.
should.
the whole province of Ontario, everyone has to wear a helmet on the ice, it's just, that's the rule, it's. Looks funny, Zamboni driver wearing a helmet, but
yeah, I never
he's
thought
on
about
there,
Trying to remember if I've
windshield and all.
been to some hockey out there, and I guess I missed it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but you just show wearing a helmet, you get checked, you still can get cut open.
The coaches, if they don't have a helmet on, they don't shake hands.
Yeah.
Oh,
They just go their own ways. Usually during a game, you go out, shake hands. Up there, they don't, they stay on the bench.
all right. Any other public comment? Okay, then I would make a motion to go into executive session with the Sheldon Select Board when they show up, and we can have a few moments of David Rouse's time and, with Heidi as well. Can I have a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Thank you all.
For coming.